Research complete.
Alright, YouTubers, here we go. This is the Group B Tiebreakers, Fantasy versus Leta on Chupung-Ryeong. Basically the three players today are going to be Leta, Fantasy, and By Hero. And two of these guys will move into the round of 8. Here we go, getting ready to start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Basically, the format for today is the person who gets 2 losses in this tiebreaker here is going home, and the other 2 are moving on. Up here at the 2 o'clock position in green, we have Fantasy. He's up there in green. I'm going to try to memorize that right now. And down here at the 8 o'clock position in purple, we have Leta, the rising Terran star. We'll see if he can get past Fantasy this time. He's already lost to Fantasy in this OSL, which I predicted. Ha ha ha, sitting up on my throne of awesomeness there. I'm going to ignore the fact that half of my predictions were wrong, and I'm going to focus on the fact that half of them were right. The glass is half full. But yeah, Leta, a lot of people have been saying that Leta will move on easily, but he's definitely not in an easy position. He's in here with 2 other great players, and one that could definitely beat him here today is Fantasy. Fantasies versus Terran is something that most Terrans really fear, because for whatever reason, his versus Terran is just so good that basically that alone, his TVT alone, is what moves him up into Star Leagues. His versus Zerg is definitely nothing to speak of. Let me give you the stats here. Okay, his versus Terran right now is 51%, but that's just because he had a string of inexplicable losses in the Pro League, I think. Other than that, I think his Terran is pretty much his best matchup, even though his best matchup says it's versus Protoss at 56%. I don't believe it. And his versus Zerg is 47%. So Fantasy is pretty much an overall good player. He's pretty new, so those stats are not, they're not that amazing. But he does have great versus Terran. Looks like Fantasy is coming down here building a barracks right below Leta's base, and I think he's going to float that barracks over to get the scout. I don't think he's going to use it to make any Marines, although Fantasy could prove me wrong here. The gas is coming up for Leta in the meantime, so we'll see where the strategies branch off from here. It seems that a lot of players, a lot of TVTs on this map, both players have tried to emulate the Magic versus Flash game, which none have managed to do yet, but we'll see if these 2 guys manage to do it today. Let me give you Leta's stats here. Leta's versus Terran is a ridiculous 71% win rate, and his versus Zerg was also equally ridiculous, 66, and his overall win record is 64%. So he is a rising star. It's going to take Fantasy a lot, Fantasy and By Hero both, a lot of awesome play and some great strategies to beat Leta today. So I think he is the force to be contended with here. Looks like, I'm not sure if Fantasy floated that barracks over. I assume he did. Yep, he's floating it over, getting that scout. But there is a Marine out here, so I think that barracks might go down eventually. Fantasy is going to try to figure out the best timing to pull that barracks away. But he's going to try to hover that in there and get the scout as long as possible while he's building 2 factories at home. I think Leta's only putting down 1 factory, but Leta is getting the full scout on both these factories because he snuck an SCV into the base here. So both these guys have gotten the scout on each other. None can really commit to anything crazy yet, or the other would see it. Here comes a command center going down for Leta. He's going to expand right now, and we'll see if Fantasy is doing the same. I have a feeling he will soon, once he gets some troops out. I think he's going to commit mostly to vultures here. He might put down a machine shop, try to get some mines, maybe some speed up. He's putting down his machine shop right now after 1 vulture. So yeah, I am predicting mines here. He's going to go out, place some mines, and keep Leta from moving out and taking another base right away. Starport coming down for Leta, so we're already seeing branching strategies here while he's putting down his command center. So it looks like he's going to go out with some wraiths, at least 1 wraith, and put on some pressure to that economic line, the minor line over there at the main, Fantasy's main. Fantasy, I think he still had the barracks floating around Leta's base, so he's going to know what's going on there, and this machine shop is spinning again here. Starport pumping. No, it's not pumping. It's going. Looks like Leta's going straight for his control tower, which makes me think instead of race, he's going to be doing a vulture drop of some sort behind the main or maybe behind the natural expansion of fantasies. See if Fantasy's up too. He's getting his armory out. I think he scanned that starport. So he's making sure that he can tackle any raids that might come his way. But as you can see, no raids incoming so far. I think if Leta was going for raids, he would have pumped 1 or 2 by now and then put up his control tower to go for cloak or whatever. I did not see the control tower researching anything. So yeah, we're going to see some dropship play out for Leta. Leta is getting his expansion up and running. It looks like Fantasy is going to do the same. Macro Terran once again. We could be in for a longer game. Leta, he's out here with a small force of Marines. He has a tank and 1 vulture, I believe. And it looks like Fantasy is trying to put on the pressure here. He's trying to do the contain early by throwing down a bunch of mines and keeping Leta from moving out. Oh, we are going to see some raids, and Cloak is researching, so never mind. I'm not sure if there's a dropship out or not. I know that Leta was pumping something there, so he might have a dropship out here. Maybe. It's kind of weird that he put down the control tower before he pumped the raise. It's usually not the way things go. You want to get a wraith out as soon as possible so you can do some economic damage there. But we'll see what Leta has in store here. He is pumping wraiths, so he's not committing to dropships. As far as I can tell, I don't see any around here. And that's definitely going to help him because there's mines everywhere, and I'm not sure how many scans that Leta has up right now. I think he just has 1 scan up, so that's definitely not in his favor there. He's got to go over here, maybe snipe. So, oh, it looks like Fantasy's coming in with some vulture harassment here. Fantasy, of course, is well known for having just awesome vulture play all around. That is his best unit by far. Okay, the raids are coming up the map right now. Probably going to try to snipe some SCVs. Yes, going straight for the SCV line. Trying to get this SCV that's building a supply depot, I think. I think that was a supply depot, but yeah, he's coming in here, sniping more. And more factories being built. No Goliaths out here yet for Fantasy. But he does have that armory out, so he can start pumping them right now and have Charon boosters ready. I think he is researching Charon right now. Either that or Siege. I think Charon's probably his best bet right now. He's going to lose a few SCVs here before those Goliaths pump. So, yeah, it looks like Leta's trying to do even more harassment here, taking out an SCV that's building another factory. So, wow, Cloak energy up now, so Fantasy's going to have to scan now to get rid of these rays. He does scan and chases the rays away. Doesn't quite kill them, though. And he's got to scan again because it looks like Leta has moved to the natural expansion here. So it looks like Fantasy is in pretty big trouble right now. He's losing SCVs all over the place. But he does have 2 scans, so he's definitely anticipated cloaked race right now, and Leta's getting up his scan. Leta didn't even have 1 scan that entire time, so he's just now getting up 2 scans here. And it looks like 1 Wraith almost going down. He almost lost a Wraith there, and he's just going back and forth between the bases here, making Fantasy waste scan, which is pretty darn smart from Leta. Leta's going out here. Oh, that Marine blew into a billion bits there. Bloody mess perk, man. And now it looks like Leta's trying to move out. He's trying to take that high ground. It's going to be very difficult for him to do it, but at least he has a couple of rays in here, even though they are badly damaged. I have a feeling he's going to fly them back and get them repaired before he tries to go out. Ooh, Leta being a bit careless there, running his tank right into a couple of mines there and some siege fire. So he's got to be a bit more careful than this and probably bring in a couple of SCVs to repair that tank. Yeah, I think that Leta is outnumbered as far as ground troops go, but he does have his race being repaired right now near the natural expansion, and he's trying to get some vision with this barracks, but that barracks looks like is going to go down if he's not too careful. He's going out with that poor Marine. Not sure what Leta was hoping to accomplish with that Marine, but yeah, probably just drawing the tank fire so he can inch forward with his own tanks, which I guess is smart, but come on, every unit counts. Now Leta's trying to inch forward and take this high ground. He's slowly working towards the middle so he can take the middle and get the mining there if we go into a super long late game. Okay. There are finally some SCVs in here for Leta, so he's going to repair those tanks, keep them safe, while he goes out with, it looks like, one single Goliath here, just in case. So he can pick at this barracks without risking his wraiths. Some more Goliaths coming in for Fantasy. Fantasy has some backup troops on the way here. Looks like he's throwing down some mines as well. The mine being picked off very easily. One Wraith down, so that's going to hurt Leta a little bit. I'm not sure if Leta's pumping any more Wraiths, though. I haven't seen any more than the just the first two. Barracks in here, getting vision for both players. Looks like Leta is repairing a lot of tanks over here. He's showing up here. These tanks are in big trouble, though, if the Vultures can get close enough. But no, the Vultures, there was one unsieged tank there, and Fantasy didn't want to risk that one Vulture by going in there.